Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ljs Garage. I am sitting in a 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. I love the Type R, I love the WRX, but there's something different about this. When it comes to a total package, I feel like this checks a lot of boxes for most people. Nowadays, with technology being as advanced as it is, luxury, sportiness, fuel economy, practicality, all those things wrapped into one package is really hard to do. But it's even more difficult to do under $35,000. And this does a lot of those things just great. So if you're on the market for something similar to the WRX, the STI, the GTI, the Type R, then you want to keep this on your list. And I'm going to dive into all of those reasons why here shortly. But I will say this, I love that Hyundai has gone out and on their websites and marketing and everything they've done, they're not afraid to say who they're directly competing with. They'll say the Type R does not offer you 14.5-inch rotors. No, it does not. They will say as well that the GTI does not offer a rear strut brace, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But it just takes all sorts of cojones and balls and all those things to just say, look your competitor in the eye and say, I'm better than you. I am better than you. And that's what the Elantra N does. If you know me, you know that when it comes to economy cars and everything, the Elantra is one of my favorites. I think that bang for your buck, it just checks all the boxes. And even with like their limited trim, it really just, it's everything that most people will need out of a car, especially sub $25,000, $30,000. Nowadays, with the way that the car market is and technology being so advanced, it's easier for manufacturers to offer more at a lower dollar value, hence why you're able to get lane keep assist on a car at $35,000. And with those type of things, it makes it hard to justify buying a brand new Audi A3 or something versus this, when you can get all this tech, all this luxury, and two 10.5-inch screens. It's kind of hard to beat. So I'll talk about the sporty aspect first, and then we'll dive into the luxury, or luxury, as you might want to say. But it has a lot to offer, and I don't think a lot of people will be disappointed once they see what this actually has to offer. There's just something about some good exhaust noise that just gets me. So under the hood, you're looking at a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, turbocharged, all of that goodness. It makes 276 horsepower, right in that ballpark, and about 289 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 time, just about 5 seconds, which for this car is definitely a good number. And what's even crazier is expect to get about 25 city, 31 miles per gallon on the highway while destroying the streets in what looks like an ordinary sedan. I'm impressed, if you can't tell. When it comes to transmission options, you're going to have either the 6-speed manual transmission or the dual clutch, which is an 8-speed, basically automatic. For those of you that aren't familiar with the terminology, dual clutch is an automatic transmission, so that's what this one is. Paddle shifters, all of that, very quick shifting. All this power is sent to the front wheels via front-wheel drive, as you would expect. And unfortunately, there's no all-wheel drive options, but that's okay. This does have an electronically controlled limited slip differential, which makes handling pretty amazing. With all that being said, you're also going to get nice things like launch control. You're going to have the N-Grin shift system, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit. It's that bright red button that's on the steering wheel, the NGS. I call that the never go slow button, or no go slow. And I don't know, I hope that sticks. Maybe you guys can make it a thing. Say that LJ created that, but whatever. Alright, so here I am, just regular driving. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the no go slow button and watch. So you're driving, speed someone, push it. There you go. Hit it. Hit it. When you're done, just press it. And that's it. Get that extra little 10 horsepower boost. And she's quick. If you need to do it again, get a little burst. Back off. Just, man. This is one fun car. So before I get any further, let's go for a walk around on the outside, hop on the inside, show you guys a few quick things, take it for a spin, and enjoy the sweet sounds of this exhaust, because this thing sounds good. And yes, some of the sounds are fake, but the real noises that are piped in and everything, those sound good. whatever. All right, so here we are on the outside. You're gonna notice you've got this really mean front grille. This is pretty much what you get as a difference between a regular Elantra and the Elantra N. It's gonna be a lot of the exterior goodies. And so you're gonna see this red accent around the body of the car, which is pretty cool, good looking. You're gonna see the red calipers there, which again, I said it earlier, it's about 14.2-inch rotors, which are bigger than anything you're gonna get in a Type R, stock at least. You're gonna have your little N logo right down here on the little rocker, and all of that, again, with the black and red accents. Another thing you're gonna notice is that, ignore the tint, this is all blacked out, so that's all gonna be part of the Elantra N package. And if you do want something a little less spicy, you can go for the Elantra N line, which is basically their version of like the M Sports versus an M. So it's not all the crazy beefy goodness, but it looks cool. So if you want the looks but without the power, there's that option. You're gonna have these cool taillights on the back here, LED headlights, LED taillights. Just look at it, just look at it. It's nice and sharp. You're gonna have your little spoiler right here. I say little, but this is a good size spoiler. It's pretty easy to tell that this is not your average Elantra. Coming over to this right-hand side, you're gonna see your N badge. You're gonna have your dual exhaust, sounds pretty good. And then this diffuser back here is pretty meaty, pretty beefy, and it's not trying to hide what exactly this is. But I think overall it does a good job of blending all this sportiness with a kind of a grown-up aesthetic, a pretty modern look, but also sporty nonetheless. You got your little louver inspired looking design right there to give the body lines a little bit of shape, a little bit of fun. You're going to see that you have a sunroof right up top right there, and you can only get the sunroof if you go for the dual clutch, so keep that in mind if you are shopping around for one of these. But take a look on the sides. You see these body lines? These are some attention to detail. I love it. You can't go wrong with any of that. Wheels are going to be 19-inch wheels, and hear this. If you know cars, this comes with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, and that's on an Elantra. Believe that or not. That just blows my mind. Those are pretty expensive tires, so if you are new to this car and you're new to the car world, prepare to drop a pretty penny when it comes time to buy new wheels. When it comes time to buy new tires. But otherwise, this is what you get on the outside. Your black side mirrors, those look good. They do fold, and then it's pretty sharp. But yeah, overall, it looks good. There's not really much to hate. I do wish there was a little bit more breaking up of the front, because it tends to blur just a little bit and becomes one big like solid black mass right there. And so I wish that it had a little bit more design that you could see without getting this close to it to actually be able to tell. But you got your N badge there, and you know, they do a good job of making sure that they don't completely slather this thing in N badges all over, and they're kind of hidden pretty well. Yes, there is one on the caliper, but that's what you get. Let me know what you guys think of the outside. Is this something that you could live with? Is this something that you would want to change? All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll pop the trunk. If you notice right there, you've got a little button. It's blended pretty well. Give that a little pop. Open up, and you're greeted with, there's that rear strut brace I was talking about. And these are what the stock factory floor mats look like. So you got Elantra. They put a little N badge on there. It's kind of nice, I guess. And you got a little cargo mat, and otherwise, that's really it. This does actually open up underneath here. You can take a look. There's just a little pump, but really not much to dive in under there. And you'll notice that this is all pretty just material fabric. And Hyundai really wanted to make sure that they kept the weight of this thing down. And they've done a pretty good job of cutting costs and cutting weight savings in areas that make a lot of sense. And so let's go in the front really quick and I'll show you. You'll notice that these front seats right here, these bucket seats, they are manually controlled, which some may say is a bad thing. But the thing is, if you're going to try to make a car under $40,000, you're going to have to cut costs somewhere. And I think Hyundai've done a perfect job of choosing where to do that. So if you're buying one of these, you're probably not going to be upset that these seats are not power operated, which is okay. But again, so you figure you save a little bit of weight cutting that. But these seats look good. I'll show you them right now since I'm actually here. Look at that. This material is soft. They hold you pretty well. They aren't adjustable at all. So if you are on the wider side, be aware of that. You're sitting them, see if you like them, but I love them. You're gonna get a Bose sound system. And while I'm here, I'll just show you guys what this door card looks like. But pretty good material. Again, they picked and chose where they were going to put Alcantara and those type of materials, and so you get these nice materials throughout, sprinkled just a little bit, but not over the top and not extremely expensive. So I've got that seat set for me. I'm 5'9", so I'll hop back in here, and you can see I got plenty of room. So normal sized people will fit comfortably, and here's a look at everything. Just fabulous. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, seats look nice. Everything feels good. You'll notice back here though, there's nothing. So again, cost savings, no vents, no charge ports, no nothing. And that's really it. Got your cup holders, and you just got to make do with everything. But look at the seats. Just admire those. Those are cool. And if you're curious, the seats do fold flat, but they are one piece. So you got to pull this guy, come over to this side, and then bam, all 3 seats will fold. But unfortunately, because it does have that brace, you're stuck with that. So keep that in mind if that's going to be a problem for you. You're not going to be able to do anything as far as pass through back there. All right, so let's go ahead and pop the hood, because, you know, what's the point of talking about engines and things like that without showing you guys? But this is what she looks like. Turbo N. Yeah. There's actually a good bit of space under here, and they've put everything in a pretty reasonable places for you to work on. I'm actually impressed, as I've said a bunch of times, but these cars are designed to be worked on a little bit. I don't know if Hyundai knew that people are going to want to mod and do some more things to this, but you know, it's pretty nice. Unfortunately, there's no hydraulic struts, so it's old school, but that's all right. That's all right. Back over here, you're going to notice on your door, you've got these little grooves here. You do have keyless entry, so you can lock, unlock. It is a little bit slow, but it works. And then you do have your little blind spot monitoring hazard light right there. Otherwise, that's all she wrote. And now let's talk about the inside. I lied. Before we get on the inside, here's your key. You're going to have your unlock, lock, remote start, pop your trunk, alarm, and then you get your little N on the back. Pretty nice looking key fob, simple, to the point. Doors, interior, it's all clean. It's all nice. Manual seats up front. Those are the all-weather mats on this one. Those are swapped out by the owner, but otherwise this is what you get when you buy one of these. Hate it or love it. Let's go ahead and turn her on. Rum, 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 rum. All right. Let's get this fan off though, so you guys can actually hear me. So here you're gonna see that you've got this pretty good steering wheel. This is the performance blue color that most of these do come in, but this color that I'm in right now is the ceramic white. Overall, I mean, this looks good. Again, performance blue buttons right there, and performance blue coloring all over it. So they do a good job of tying it all together. You'll notice this little screen over here, which is nothing. This doesn't do anything. It's just this design that stares at you. I wish they had done something different with that. It weirds me out. And it should just be something cool, or like maybe you could put like a Pokemon or something in there that just looks at you and interacts and just dances or something, whatever. But on this left side, you're gonna have your lane departure, you're gonna have your traction control. And with this one, when you push the traction control button, it actually does not turn traction control all the way off. It's kind of like a mild traction control, so it lets you slide a little bit. And by sliding, it's front wheel drive, so there's limitations to that. Cool, the lane keep assist, which works pretty great. Give it a little touch. Basically self-driving, but you know. More controls on the steering wheel. If you need me to dive into them, just go ahead and ask. Here's your no-go slow button. This gives you an extra 10 horsepower for about 20 seconds. Back to this, you're gonna have paddle shifters on both sides. Downshift here, upshift here, wiper blades here, and then your turn signals there. Sorry about the focus. There's a lot of gloss black, and the camera just does not seem to love that, so bear with me. You can scroll through and see some basic information, but it's really limited. And one weird thing about this is you don't actually get to see like what you're listening to. There's no audio shortcut for that, but there's your gauges, and when you do press the different modes, it does have a little animation. So that's sport, that's eco, and then if you want to go into N mode, look at that. You get all your performance gauges, all of that good stuff, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. I don't want to dive ahead of things, but it looks cool. It works. And then let's dive into the menu. Like I said, you've got N mode. You can click on that, and it'll bring you into a couple more of these gauges. lap timers, all of that. This allows you to adjust a couple more things here. You've got these two buttons here. You've got custom 1 and custom 2. And in here is where you can adjust those buttons and what they really do. So let's say custom 1 is your normal settings. You click that. Your steering you can put into Sport Plus, normal, all of that good stuff. So you can just basically make this one your everyday driving mode. And if you hit custom 2, go into this one, this is going to be for everything to be maxed out, Sport Plus, Sport Plus, Sport Plus. Your exhaust sound, this does have a variable valve exhaust, so it does sound different in all of these different modes. So each one of these modes actually sounds pretty different. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in eco mode. This is what the normal exhaust sounds like. Pretty normal, right? Pretty normal. And let's get that settled down. I'm going to go ahead and put this in sport. Settle down. We're gonna go ahead and put this into N mode now. And are you guys ready? That's where you get the crackles. God, that sounds good. Let's go back to here. And like I said, custom 1, you do have suspension tuning. You got your exhaust, pretty much the loudness of your exhaust. And then you can control your electronic limited slip, differential to normal or sport. Traction control, you've got 3 settings. Are you sure you want to turn off traction control completely? Yes. So you can do all that from there. Normal, traction control, bam. Launch control, whoops, excuse me. Launch control is here. You can hit activate. Activation lasts for 5 minutes. Launch control is good. Performance option, launch control. You can set the RPMs. It is active right now. And then you can adjust your shift light. Look at that, pretty cool. So then you have your N power shift. It gives you all sorts of explanations about that, which is pretty handy. And track sense shift, all of that. And you can dig deeper into this if you do purchase one or end up deciding you want to buy one. There's a lot to dive in with this car, and realistically, you know, it would take a long time to dive into all of it, but it's there. So back to this screen, you're going to notice you got phone projection. That's where you would see your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. There's really not too much. This Blue Link system is Hyundai's app that allows you to remote start, track your car, lock your doors, unlock, check your fuel, all of those good things. So it's a pretty handy app, and from what I've heard, it works very well. So it does have all those safety tech that you need. It isn't Tesla Autopilot, but I would say it's pretty good for what it is. So here you're going to have your climate control settings. This is where you can sync everything, make sure they match. You can have auto, fan speed, circulate air, heated seats. Move down here, you're going to have a wireless charging pad. You're going to have your cameras. You can hit that. This is what your backup cameras look like. Pretty solid if you ask me. You're going to have your drive mode selector, which you can use this or you can pre-program those buttons, whichever choice you want. You're going to have your more performance blue, this cool shifter, and then cup holders, bam, bam. A little grab bar for your passenger when you scare them, emergency brake, and then a little compartment. Under here you do have your little 12-volt outlet, your USB ports, all that good stuff. But let's go over here. You're gonna have a glove box. I won't pop that out right now, but otherwise that's all she wrote. Sunroof. Let's talk about a few things up here. You got your SOS button. It's gonna tell you if your passenger airbag's on, your Blue Link system, sunroof controls, your door lights, all of that. And then bam, you do have a visor. What's up? And if you need a light, there is a light, a little switch. I feel like it takes more effort to make a little switch than to just make it auto, but who knows? I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to drive this thing. So if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, all of that fun stuff. I appreciate the support. Every one of you counts. Literally every single person counts. So show some support. Appreciate the love in advance. I'm gonna go in N mode. Driving is about. I love straight line performance as much as anyone else, but I love this back to N mode. I'm gonna hit it. Can't hit it too hard over this one, because if we hit it too hard over this one, we will fly. Crazier than it looks on the camera. It's my own little Nürburgring. Give that a little close. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Brake, brake, brake. Turn in. A little bit of understeer. There, I can admit it. I'm gonna go enjoy this one a little bit more. I don't have any other ideas, any other thoughts to share, but the Elantra N is exactly what it says it's going to be, and it checks all the boxes for people looking for something sport inspired, maybe not a full-fledged sport car, something practical, still decent on gas mileage, sub 300, right around that 300 horsepower marker, all the latest greatest tech, lane keep assist, driver assistant features. I mean, it's got it all. And 10-year 100,000 mile warranty. I mean, I don't really know if there's much to say of how amazing that is. The Type R certainly doesn't have that. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for checking out yet another video in LJ's Garage. Be sure to hit that like button, comment button, subscribe button, all that good stuff, and let me know what you guys think about the Elantra N. I've had a blast, and I'm going to enjoy it as I bring it back to its owner, and yeah, this is a cool one. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I got nothing else, but yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.